be something that needs a little fixing on Far Point Farms.
Hey guys, it's Eric. Hey, look, I wanted to take a second here to show you what a 1600 dual port engine looked like from the Volkswagen Beetle. There are a lot of engines that I have worked on over the years, but nothing looks anything like this. It's a flat four. That means the cylinders go sideways instead of straight up and down like an inline, or in a V shape like most modern V6 and V8 engines have. This was unique in its time, and it's unique now, Subaru being the only other company that has a production flat four, and of course that one being water-cooled and far more modern. But this thing here, a lot of people are like, oh, Volkswagens are so easy to work on. Well, I'd rather do 4 or 5 Rabbit engines or Mark I engines than I would do another one of these. They're not all that easy to work on. They're very unique. The air cooling requires a lot of shroud work. The exhaust, if you want to continue to have working heat, requires a lot of work for the heater channels and boxes and the venting that goes to that. There is a lot going on. Alternator uses shims to tighten or loosen the belt. Points ignition, carburation. I mean, the list goes on, but this is a vintage engine. And I'm thinking back to the 40s and 50s in American-made cars. And I can't imagine that this was easier to work on than, say, a flathead V8 or a flathead inline something, you know. I can't imagine that this was any simpler. It is easy to maintain, and maybe that's where the rumor came about. You know, you can adjust valves with a screwdriver and a 13, and that's all it takes. An oil change doesn't have a filter, so it's literally drain and then refill. Air filter was oil bath originally on many of these models, which means you just literally washed it out, put it back in, added some fresh oil, you're back on the road. Belt replacement can be done with a screwdriver and a wrench. So there's a lot of things that are easy as far as maintenance goes. But enough of that. Let me just take you and give you a walk around for those of you who don't follow Volkswagen products as a hobby. You may never have seen one. And this one is almost completely dressed out. It's missing the air filter and distributor cap and wires. I'll put those on after it's reinstalled. But here it is. You can see those are the heater boxes. And there's flaps here. Now when those opened up, you're allowing heat to run through the heater channels and into the car. It uses the fan that's attached to the back of the alternator to push that air through the system, over the exhaust, and then into the car. There's our clutch and flywheel. This side should look much the same. And then back around to the front here, I'll show you up close. If you've been following the videos, you've seen a lot of this stuff off the shelf and getting assembled. So here it is, all done. There's the carburetor we rebuilt, and the front muffler here. The little, they call those pea shooters. I'm not sure why, but they give a unique sound to them. That's for sure. Well, there it is. Today is the day it gets reinstalled. I've run out of pieces, and in fact, I just on the Beetle put the rear seal in. There's a seal that goes along there again for the air cooling, so that's in there. Unfortunately, the front seal won't arrive for another day or two, but it's okay. You can do that in the car. It's not as easy, but that's what'll happen. I did decide to replace the throwout bearing there, so I did go ahead and do that. That's another thing there, and finish cleaning that up. So we're ready to reinstall it. Next time you see it, it'll be in the car, and it'll be time for either victory or defeat. We'll spin this booger over a bunch, make sure she's topped off with oil, fire it up. Till next time, my friends, take care.